We're talking today to Maggie Finegan, a resident of the Andersonville and Uptown areas for more than 20 years, and a real estate agent who runs her own business in association with Keller Williams. And Maggie, tell us a little bit about how the neighborhood of Uptown Edgewater, and specifically the Andersonville retail corridor along Clark Street between about Foster and Bryn Mawr, how has that area sort of changed and evolved over the last 5 years?
I would say that we have many, many more specialty businesses that cater to the people that are living here. Lots more art galleries, specialty clothing stores, boutique stores, specialty furniture. We have more entertainment, small theaters, etc. So the area has a lot more amenities for the local residents. Before we had a lot of resale shops and old line hardware stores, and we have many, many more specialties.
How recently has that been that the retail along Andersonville has just filled in?
I would say the rate of improvement has been accelerating, but I would say in the last 2 to 3 years, we've especially gotten a lot more of what people want here: bookstores, art galleries, shops.
And why do you think that is?
I think that the commercial business owners recognize the buying power of the neighborhood, and as more and more people move up here from areas such as Wrigleyville, they're renting in Wrigleyville and they find that they can afford to buy in Andersonville. They bring with them, the incomes to purchase these products.
That was going to be my next question. Who's moving into the neighborhood? Are you noticing demographic trends, families or different types of groups?
Yes, we have probably 3 or 4 different types of groups, mainly renters from Wrigleyville. People also from Uptown are moving up here. We seem to be particularly attractive to people who run small home-based businesses, whether they're freelance writers, graphic designers, architects, etc. They really like the area because of the amenities, and also it's a great walk-to neighborhood. It's easy to run a business from this area because you can get downtown in 20 minutes in the car. We have great public transportation. There are local stores for purchasing office supplies, and everything is here. It's all here.
Are the commercial rents and the sort of mortgage prices encouraging more people with smaller businesses and stay-at-home businesses to be in Andersonville compared to elsewhere on the north side? Is that part of it as well?
Yeah, I would say, our prices here are lower than closer to downtown, Wrigleyville, etc., but we're still close enough to downtown that it's a good area to live for commuting.
You have some sense of the kind of price differential for...
It's just well within the affordability of a single person buying a 1-bedroom condo or a couple buying a 2-bedroom condo. We also are seeing more and more people who are moving to the area that are in the arts community. There's a whole corridor along Ravenswood that is starting to be developed. You're having artist lofts. There's a little shopping area just north of Foster on Ravenswood where people are moving and running small art businesses.
Is that they're sort of renting spaces from someone else, or actually buying spaces in existing buildings?
They're renting space. They're renting loft spaces for galleries, and there's a goldsmith in that building. This is just north of Foster, next to the convenience store. And
any other sort of development trends that you're noticing between here and pushing west towards Ravenswood Avenue?
We are seeing some tear-down activity. They're tearing down some of the older Victorian homes. The homes have really unusable floor plans and that type of thing, and they're building some newer properties. But we hope, as residents of Andersonville, that there isn't too much of that, because we like to keep the local flavor of the neighborhood, the history of the neighborhood. Many of our buildings were built at the turn of the century, and there's a certain charm to that. The people that live here would like to keep it that way. They don't necessarily want a lot of tear-down, brand-new stuff or big-box retail stores. They want the folksy feel. They want the small stores, the boutiques, the little coffee shops that keep the ambiance really nice here.
How significant is the influx of tear-down single-family home construction? Are we seeing, a large volume of it? Is it a very new thing? And sort of whereabouts?
Really, really small. I would say less than 10% of the homes are being torn down and converted. We have a lot of rental apartment buildings that are being converted to condos, but they're not altering the exterior of the buildings. They're just redoing on the inside.
And in terms of the teardowns and new construction, what sort of corridors or streets are you finding those mostly on in this?
We're seeing it both east of Clark in Andersonville and also west of Ashland, both communities.
Do you think this is partly to do with other sort of areas becoming less affordable, such as West Lakeview, Roscoe Village kind of areas? Is there a grow on from there, or just people from within this neighbourhood wanting to build a bigger home for themselves?
I think it's driven by the economics. Developers needing to continue to do projects can buy homes here for less than they pay in Wrigleyville, and it's still economically feasible for them to put a considerable amount of money into the building and still be able to sell it and make a profit.
And do you think that is this kind of single-family home issue raising itself as a zoning issue at the moment, or have residents kind of spoken to the alderman about it, or is it a new issue?
It's not increasing the density of the population, it's reducing the density, so it isn't really an issue with zoning. The only time it would become an issue is if the properties that are being built are taking up a larger footprint on the land than the previous property, and we're really not seeing that happen.
So is there anything residents can do to sort of see less of this new construction come in terms of historic preservation of buildings in the area?
Yeah, we, as realtors, and I'm with Keller Williams, we encourage our clients to get involved in the local neighborhood association. So West Andersonville neighbors, the East Andersonville neighbors, South Andersonville, they all have local neighborhood groups, because our aldermen definitely are listening to what the neighborhood groups want, and they ask for feedback when there's a new development. They ask for input. So the best way to keep things folksy, fun, pleasant is to get involved in the local community group. There's also the Andersonville Development Corporation, which is also a nonprofit. They're very interested in keeping the local flavor here.
Thank you.